Welcome to the shit show.
Coming in at the last fucking minute, joining us right as we're going live. No, I'm just kidding. Liverpool chat is in the chat. Says Kenny Omega is the GOAT. Well, GOAT got slaughtered last night on Dynamite. We'll talk about that some more. But Tom, man, how are you? You looking
I'm
like
excited to talk about that. Oh, well, I'm excited to talk about Kenny Omega as the GOAT because he says, he alludes to what people say about him, right? But yeah. It's the weirdest thing about pro wrestling because it breaks the fourth wall, but then still keeps kayfabe. And so it's weird because he's saying
not a fourth wall in wrestling in some respects, right? Because it's theater in the round, right? So it's like you have to break the fourth wall to some extent.
But no, because stay with me here, because he says, I'm the best Bout Machine, which means if you watch me, the match is going to be so competitive that you're going to be on the edge of your seat. Because he doesn't mean I'm just going to wipe the floor with the guy, right? Like Mike Tyson was the best Bout Machine in his prime because he knocked people out in the first round. That's not what Kenny Omega says. So he says to you, I agree. I am the best Bout Machine. Which would indicate he's not that good because then he can't just mollywop his opponent. But then he still says, I will win, which then stays in kayfabe. Isn't that an interesting thing?
It is an interesting thing. Yep. Yeah, isn't that fun? Look,
because name another entertainment, right? Like Robert De Niro is not like, hey, I'm the best promo machine. And you're like, what? Like, he doesn't say it in the movie.
So about that, you were talking about breaking the fourth wall, and I like to use that when talking about pro wrestling with people. Like, pro wrestling is constantly in a constant breaking of the fourth wall. Like, by aspect of, like, you tuning in and hearing the commentary that they're telling, you, like, they acknowledge your presence. That's what breaking the fourth wall is like looking at the camera and talking to you. We do that every fucking day in pro wrestling. You know what I mean? Like, they're looking at you, they're talking to you, they acknowledge there's people watching on TV. Like, the crowd's involved in it. It's theater in the round. There's no breaking the fourth wall. There's no wall in this. You know what I mean?
Well,
that's the point.
But there is, because they're saying, again, undead wizards are a real thing going to Undertaker, right? Like, no, he's not. And so, like...
No, but we do, but we still break the fourth wall in that aspect, in that, like... You know what I mean? They look at you. Now, you're talking about kayfabe, something different if we're like, hey, that's not real, right? That's a different scenario,
Right. Yep. That's what I mean. I think that's what I'm referring to in wrestling, breaking the fourth wall breaking kayfabe.
Kayfabe, yeah.
But isn't that interesting?
Look, man, we're going to get into all kinds of great conversations. This is the in-depth stuff we can get into. We've also got dick and fart jokes. We've got everything you need right here on the All Elite Wrap-Up. We've even got figures that Tom has over there. It's buying new ones every week, I think. And we're going to get into all that. We want you to send us emails like we're going to play here. We got a call from Ash Hendricks coming up. We want you to get in the chat like Liverpool chat already has. And by that, I mean watch us live on YouTube. We go live each week. You can chat along with us and be part of the show. That way, you can go to allelitewrapup.com to find the links for all that, the YouTube, the Blue Sky, the donate links. But once again, can't stress enough, the email, wrapup@gmail.com. You send us something, we're going to play it right here. Tom, Ash Hendricks made his return last week. We played his call. He said something about, let's put all the belts on the Don Callis family then. Fuck it. If we're going to do this, let's do it. And you said, all right.
Do it.
Pixar, it didn't happen, right? Tell me who. And Ash gets into that right here.
So this is the third time I'm going to be recording this. I recorded it once, and then I realised it was 5 minutes long, and I was like, okay, we don't need to be doing all that. And then the second time, it cut off after 30 seconds. So we're doing it again. I just want to let you guys know I've had internet issues for about a week. I have not seen the Australia show. I haven't seen last night's Dynamite. It is currently 5 p.m. on a Thursday afternoon. I'm just recording this so it gets in with the show, because I'm fairly sure whatever I'm going to say is going to be outdated anyway. I don't want to miss deadlines and do whatever and like be even more outdated for a week. Last week I had said in one of my voice recording that I want all the belts in AEW and ROH on the Don Callis family members. But then I was confronted kind of like by T-Mac. T-Mac was like, you know why would you do it yourself, you lazy bastard? I was like, alright, okay then T-Mac, you fucking relax, man. Alright, I'll do it now then. Anyways, the World Championship, I want it on Andrade. I think it'll be good to crown him as a champion and an actual main event star, because I personally believe that he has basically almost everything that he needs to do. He obviously, bad promos on his own would be great, but we'll get there. So I want Andrade to do that. Also, AEW World Champions has always been someone that's won it multiple times. It'd be nice to see a fresh guy breaking through and becoming a first-time AEW champion. International Championship, fine with keeping it on Okada. I don't think he's going to be doing anything. I don't think he's going to get the world belt in his run. I don't think he's got anything else to do with him, so keep that belt on him. Same thing for the TNT belt, keep that on Carl Fletcher. Not against putting it on Josh Alexander though. I think that'd be a pretty cool spot. Like, I'd like to see Josh Alexander do those promos with all the B-teamers in the background beating people up, and then you pan down and he's doing the ankle up, but he's got the TNT belt around his waist. That'd be pretty cool. Continental, again, I think Takeshita might beat John Moxley and at the Australia show and win it, but we'll see what happens in there. I don't know what's happened, as I say, on no internet. But so I think he'd have the belt, but if not him, then again Josh Alexander or Hechicero. Not mad about that. You guys remember that Brian Cage is still in the group? Would love to put the belt on him too. National Championship, Lance Archer. Lance Archer to this day had one credible singles AEW win, in my opinion, and that's against Moxley in that death match a couple of years back. I think that would be pretty cool to give him something to do as well, because he's been there long enough with nothing to really show for it. So give him that little shitty Ricochet belt. Obviously for tag team, Davis and Dole would have been perfect for that. I thought they were going to beat FTR a couple of weeks back, but they didn't, and obviously Dole was out injured. Shame. So, keeping on the topic of big powerhouse men being a tag team champions within the Don Callis family, how about Brian Cage and Wardlow? Remember that Wardlow's still in the group? Is he still injured or something? He must be injured, so maybe not him, but that would be my only other idea. Maybe Hechicero again, I'm a fan of Hechicero. I think he's underutilized, so just something to him. And the six-man tag team belts, I would say either Takeshita, Okada, and Carl Fletcher, so you can run that storyline a little bit more. Gives a bit more weight to the championships, and it makes the matches a little bit more interesting with all three of them trying to team up and power struggle, and Carl Fletcher in the middle. That'd be perfect. If not that though, you know that Trent Beretta and Rocky Romero are a tag team, so have those two, and either Al Clone or Hechicero as the third man, or maybe like a free bird rule. I did record some stuff for ROH, but I don't really care about ROH, so I'm going to save the opinions on there. One thing I will say was that the pure champion of ROH is Lee Moriarty currently. How about we put him in the DCF, because I think he's a talented boy, and he's got nothing to do. Like, I don't watch ROH, he might not be doing anything interesting right now, so how about we slap him in there? That'd be fantastic. Anyways, that's it for me. I'm going to try and fix my internet so I can catch up on the wrestling. I hope you guys have a good show, and I'll see you in a couple of weeks' time, maybe. Take care, boys.
All right, everybody should do what Ash did. Send us a thing, and we'll play here, because we want to talk to you first, right? I mean, the show's about us, and we're going to talk plenty about us, but we want to talk to you first. So fix your internet. I might also say, hey, fix the microphone you're using there, or whatever you're recording on.
Did you record that underwater? Were you fucking going for a swim?
Maybe you were in the office taking a shit while wiping your ass with the phone microphone for a little bit. I didn't know what was going on.
By the way, just to be contrarian, because sometimes I like to be a dickhead. Of the Don Callis family, who's going to be the TBS champion? Who's going to be the women's tag team champion? Who's going to be the women's heavyweight champion? I guess they say.
I'd like to point out, if you're an asshole all of the times, is it correct to still say you're an asshole sometimes? I mean,
yeah. I'm 5'9" all the time. I'm also 5'9" some of the time.
Some of the time, exactly.
Yeah. I said something there, and it boggled my mind for a second. I said the women's heavyweight championship. Is that how they would refer to it?
I don't think that.
Or
I
is
think
it
it's
just
the
the
women's world championship? I don't
Okay.
even know that the men's. I think they say heavyweight sometimes, but I think they don't all. Like, sometimes it's the men's world championship, right?
Yeah. Okay.
Again, I would. If you're not doing weight classes, I would try to just ignore those words, right? And you don't have that on the other titles, right? So you can just drop it from the world. It's the men's world championship.
Well, we've always talked about giving titles personalities in AEW, maybe do that. Maybe the national champion is the cruiserweight, right? Hey, Mark Davis, you're not available to win this fucking belt because you're too fucking big.
Mark
You know
Davis
what I
ain't
mean?
available to do much right now. But so I saw you shake your head big time no before we get into some of these. Lee Moriarty being in the Don Callis family.
No. MVP and Lee Moriarty. Because here's the thing. MVP just can't be the senior circuit for the black guys. He needs some younger people, right? I mean, Shelton Benjamin and Bobby Lashley are in their 50s. And then for that hot second, they had MJF. So, like, you need some young blood in there before they all retire. And so I would say Lee needs to go there. I would say absorb Shane Taylor Promotions into the Hurt Syndicate and then have
A merger.
well, like very similar. Now they could do it better, but remember when for that moment in time when Andrade stable and Matt Hardy stable were kind of doing the same thing, something like that. Do it better this time, but have like Shane Taylor Promotions in association with the Hurt Syndicate have these people, right? So you're still saying it's two groups, but they're all in the same group. If that makes sense.
Seemed to chuckle at the idea of the trios titles possibly being like a Freebird style rule. What if we just Don Callis family rule, and any title that's in the Don Callis family can be defended by anybody in the Don Callis family?
I mean, look, when I was in high school, we would compete in many different games and or street fights against competing high schools, right?
Were they all street fights?
Well, I was one. I was the street fight one.
I like the and or also implies like it could be all.
Oh, I tried.
Some of them.
Well, when we first started it with Fort Osage, I tried the what's the one where you got the little puck in your hand and you air hockey. I tried air hockey, and that just made me mad. And so I was like, let's fight. And I was better at that than air hockey. But that's what we did, right? Like Fort Osage didn't always have the basketball champion. It was whoever represented. So maybe
Fort Osage didn't have much, to be honest.
No, they didn't. Fort Osage and Truman High
don't.
School. You fucking rich kid, Truman. You guys thought you're so fucking cool because you're named after a president. You didn't do shit. You didn't do shit.
Tune in for more Tom's Glory Day conversations on the All Elite Wrap-Up.
I'll still do it. You went to Truman, hit me up. Unless there's some people.
I kind of like the idea that he gave of the trios titles. Now, the problem is, in his story, all three of these guys would also have a singles title, and I don't like that. But the Takeshita Okada Fletcher, if we're going to do that storyline, somehow have them, in the trios title mix, because then you have all three of them being together for a reason, right? And you can place them there easily.
Let's put a pin in that real quick, because there was an interesting, are they still BFFs with Okada talking about another member of the Don Callis family.
Yeah.
Maybe he says old Fletcher is kicked to the curb.
I mean, Okada's been a shyster salesman for a while. It shouldn't be any surprise he's been using the Don Callis family for his own benefit.
He's a friend whore, for sure.
He is definitely a friend whore.
whore.
We like to be friend whores too. Join us. Be our friend. Donate us some money if you feel like it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and we'll give you entertainment. That's the trade-off. Let's talk about Dynamite from last night. Where were we, Tim? We were in
Sacramento.
Old ball Sacramento. Old ball sack over there. Remember the Sacramento Queens? Remember when that was a whole controversy? Because Shaq was like, oh yeah, we're going to Sacramento to play the Queens. And they were like, no, motherfucker, we're the Kings.
Yeah, the Sack Town.
Ball sack. Sacramento, where people forget it's a city. That's where we were, and we had
call them the ball and sacks. I'm like, no.
Yeah, the ball and sacks. Yeah. But we kicked it off collision style again.
Yeah,
kind of liking it. We hear from.
Is this every week running now since they started?
Well, it's
two. Two in a row. They've only done it 2 weeks. Okay. All right.
Yeah, so maybe, but not yet.
Thought maybe it'd been longer than that.
So we hear from Mina, and she said, hey, we cut Yuta's hair. That was fucking great. And now tonight, I'm going to win the TBS championship. Willow Nightingale said, I just defended the tag champs, and now I'm going to defend this championship. And that's fucking cool. Do it all in a week. And then Megan Bain was like, gold belongs to the all elite goddess. Just don't talk. Just wear that fun.
Should have her breaking stuff in the background, like Lance Archer approach, right? Have her squashing things.
yeah, there needs to be a new iteration because if you think about it, she's been doing the same song and dance for a while now. Because if you really consider, she was introduced to us by Mariah May getting
Yeah.
astonished with how big she was.
Yeah.
Remember when she was like, "Who do they feed this girl?
Yeah.
Babies?"
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And so
That's right. Mariah May,
yeah.
who is, I think, is dead.
I haven't heard of her.
Yeah.
I don't know who
gone.
she is.
Yep.
Sir, I'm being dead serious. I really don't know anything about her.
Yeah. I don't know.
But Swerve Strickland ends the whole thing with Kenny Omega, I need this tonight. He's talking about when. We'll put a pin in that because that's maybe how we end the whole episode. But before we get there, we get a backstage interview segment with Renee Paquette, and she's talking to Orange Cassidy. And she says to Orange Cassidy, "Hey, Roderick Strong just left you high and dry, and then no one's really heard from him, and he's not here tonight. What the fuck?" And Orange Cassidy's like, we got other members. And
Yeah.
here comes old Big Tom. Ishii walks up and he's like, "I'll be your
Did say
partner."
he's like, one thing about the the conglomeration or something, like there's a lot of us, and I was like, yeah, we know.
Yeah. So what do you
Not
think
Roderick Strong though, apparently, but yeah.
Well, good. But what do we make of Roderick Strong? You think he's joining another group, trying to do his own thing?
I don't know. I think they should do the porn star gimmick of Rod Strong, but why not?
Hey, if we're starting to be okay with wrestlers have friends, let's just lean into we all know who his wife is and have him join the Death Riders.
Yeah, why not?
What's
I mean,
the difference
he fits.
between
if you
Garcia
turn
and him?
Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean. Like he would fit if you just tell him like, hey, be menacing in the back and act like you're fucking people up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't mind. And there you go. Gives him something to do.
Liverpool chat says so many factions are growing this year, can't keep up. But I kind of like it. You know what I mean? Like it's battle warfare. It gets more people on TV, and then it allows for more of the interaction of storylines between things. You know what I mean? You need a supporting cast, right? You need like supporting. There's a reason they give best supporting actor and actress at the Oscars, right? Because you need these other characters to play around with, to play off of.
And if you're going to have Collision essentially be let's all be honest, it doesn't really progress too many stories and they just have good wrestling matches. Well, then have it be against two guys from competing factions, right? Like that was one of the best things about NWO when it did get so big is we knew that the WCW guy hated that NWO guy because NWO and WCW hated each other. So you didn't have to get this like, well, why would they fight each other?
Right.
It's like, well, why would they not? You know what I mean? And so with the Death Riders, if they grew by 2 members and then you just did Garcia versus Okada, well, why would they wrestle? Because one's Don Callis family, the other one's Death Riders. Those two fucking people don't like each other. So, or groups don't like each other. So that's why. So I like that. And another thing, this old tired deadbeat fucking, I don't even know what to say, trope that all wrestlers have to go at it alone. No, the fuck they don't. No one does anything alone. So shut the fuck up with acting like wrestlers don't have friends. It's so weird to be like, well, I don't like it that they got friends now. Shut up.
Yeah, I hate the like overused trope, and like it should only be used after multiple times that it's been complained about you that you're only winning because your friends are cheating for you ringside, right? Like, that's the only time it should come is when it's part of a story like that. Liverpool chat says, if we got some kind of faction war pay-per-view once a year, how would you feel about that? I hate themed yearly pay-per-views most often, right? Because I feel like you're booking yourself into a corner and you have to make things fit. And so sometimes like, well, we got to team 4 people up because we got blood and guts or whatever it is, right?
Mm-hmm. I will say this. If you're just saying, hey, we want to get wrestlers on a show, but really how are we going to do it? Saying that Okada belongs to the Don Callis family, the Elite is represented by Nick Jackson. Let's do Nick Jackson versus Okada. Cool. That would make sense there, right? Because that's the faction warfare. The Elite versus Don Callis family. I like that idea because AEW, even though they do tell stories and they tell amazing stories, there is this sometimes reliance on, hey, in 3 days, all of a sudden we have a story that deserves a pay-per-view match. It's Ricochet versus Kyle Fletcher. And it's
and
like,
if you
what?
had multiple people like, so the Death Riders are a faction, but like the Don Callis family is different, right? Like if the Don Callis family if Don Callis had a rival manager who had his guys, right? And maybe both these groups kind of, Don Callis is very heel, but like the other group can maybe ride the tweener line, but like then they start being like 4-0 against y'all this week, you know what I mean? I'm like, fuck you, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, you cheated on the last ones, and be like, I saw 4 wins in the fucking the ledger, so I know we got paid.
And that's another great thing, because this is how we could evolve storytelling with still keeping it in like not fact-based, but reality-based storytelling, where we're not doing, you know, the undead wizard, like I mentioned, of Undertaker and Kane and stuff. You could do just that, where you could say Kyle Fletcher walks up to Pac and he's like, hey, Don Callis family 4-0 against the Death Riders this month. And then Pac goes, $100,000 that says, I beat you, and then we win this for the month. And Kyle Fletcher's like, oh, we are already kicking your ass. You want to go 0-5? Sure. And then now you got money on the line, and you got the faction warfare stuff.
Right.
Yeah, perfect.
Yep.
More money also needs to be on the
There
line.
could also be things like this, like Kyle Fletcher could pull up in his car, right? His fancy car. Pac's sitting there, and Fletcher's like, oh, look, it's the losers. And Pac's like, what'd you say? And he's like, losers, you guys are 4-0 against us this month or whatever. And he's like, I tell you what, put that fucking car on the line.
Yeah, exactly.
And we'll make it fucking, you know what I mean, 1-4 or whatever. And I'll drive out of here in this fucking fancy, shit like that.
I also think, you know, they did it somewhat recently with the $1 million and the Bucks and all of that stuff.
Yeah.
But I do think sometimes if you just want like, hey, I'm better than you, do the bet. Like that would be cool if it was the bet of the month. And again, come up with a better name. I just thought of it right then. But then just says like, guess what? Daniel Garcia thinks that for $100,000 he can beat Mark Davis, and then it's $100,000, and then
They can come up
here's the other
with
thing.
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, I was gonna say, then the loser has to pay him in front of us, because that would be the other thing, right? Like,
so I even like this. You could say like there's a standard, you know, winners and losers purse for every fight, and so you could always do that. Be like, I'll even put, you know what I mean? Like we'll put both, you know, both purses on the line, right? So winner take all.
Yeah, I'll put my show money up, right? Because everyone
exactly.
gets paid in combat sports to show up, right?
Right.
I'll put my show money up. So that means if I lose, I don't get a dime from
Right,
this.
exactly. And then they can make, you know, whatever that number is, right? Like they can say what it is in the thing. And then like you just hear that, like, you know, $150,000 on the line in this match. And people are like, oh shit.
And then, man, I like where we're going tonight. And then here's the other thing too, because one thing that never made sense to us with like the broke Bucks, and then like remember when Shawn Michaels was broke too? Is like, aren't you fucking getting paid by your employer?
Yeah, like
Wait,
why
Baron
are you
Corbin?
there? Yeah.
How are you broke? Is Vince or Tony Khan not paying you, motherfuckers? But if you said, hey, I'm kind of a gambling addict, I'm going to keep putting up my show money until I win, and you lose 4 in a row, well, now all of a sudden we know why you're really broke.
Yeah, without
You know
some
what I
other
mean?
backstory of like, I'm getting paid, but like I'm still paying off debts because I sold, or bet the house and lost it or whatever, like that kind of shit. Yeah. You know?
Yeah, because that was always the thing, like with the broke Bucks and Baron Corbin. I'm like, you're getting a contract from the fucking company. How are you not making money?
Then you need like, because that would be like somebody would be like, all right, young Bucks, put that fancy car on the line. And Nick Jackson would be like, you got it. And Matt will be like, well, you're still underwater on it. You can't put that on the line. Like, you're fucking,
we're going to win.
Oh, we're going to win.
It's FTR.
Yeah,
Fuck
exactly.
them, you know, like
fucking
they
Matt
suck.
Jackson's like calling his wife, like, how much do we got in the reserve?
Yeah. All right, let's get into some in-ring action now. We get, what is it? Wait a minute. Is this? Yes.
Lost
Okay.
yourself?
It was.
There
I
you
was
go.
correct. No. I was just, because I read it and I was like, didn't we do this match? But we didn't. But it's the AEW Continental Championship Eliminator match. Our champion, John Moxley, taking on Mark Davis. And Mark Davis said, hey, let's make it real, brother, and break my fucking hand on the ring post.
Mark Davis said, fuck it. Everybody else going to get injured. I'm just going to fuck. I want the time off also, God damn it.
I mean, he hit that motherfucker hard as shit. Like,
Keep calling him thick. Well, his fucking hand was thick from fucking swollen shit, man.
well, and his head was
And props
thick
to
for
him,
the
though.
decision making.
He
Yeah,
said, no, we're doing
Christ.
every spot. He said, fuck
Yeah.
it. We're going to finish this. And he finished it for a while. That had to be painful.
Yeah. I bet you he's not waking up on the right side of the bed this morning with that hand. But yeah, we get a good old wrestle match right here, right? Wrestle. And Moxley floats over, gets the Bulldog choke, and makes Mark Davis tap out. Another good showing for Mark Davis. You know what this is starting to feel like to me? Remember when we wanted Takeshita to be a thing, but before we made Takeshita a thing, he lost to Moxley and he lost to Eddie Kingston and he lost to Adam Cole, but like he looked good in all these matches. It feels like that's what we're doing with Mark Davis, where we're like, hey, he's really good. He's not going to win, but he's really good.
I still, though, like, I need to see, like, why I'm going to care. You know what I mean? Like, I still, like, we always want a little more than, like, okay, guy comes in, he's suddenly wrestling real good, and he wrestles, but, like, everybody wrestles and somebody wins every match. So, like, I need to care why I care who wins.
Yeah, and it's also, like, in real sports, no one gives a fuck, right? The Giants had like 8 one-score games and we're 0-8. We all think the Giants suck.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Like, it's like I say I'm very prone to this. I'm a Kansas City Chiefs fan, and if the Chiefs are out of like the playoff run or whatever, or whatever, like let's say it's a low season, when it's Chicago versus Indianapolis, I don't give two shits unless there's some reason otherwise, like storyline. Maybe both these teams are battling for first place in their division or whatever. Like, I need to know to care, right? Like, I'm not just going to pick up just to watch the game, Like, that's the one.
Yeah, you're not a lover of the game.
There for the story of the, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
The storyline.
I like it. Hey, then what do we get here? We get a recap of AEW Grand Slam where Hangman has post-match comments saying he's going to take everything from MJF.
Everything from you, he said.
Can I ask a question that I probably know the answer to, but man, did we just move off of it really quick? Didn't Hangman want to take everything away from Samoa Joe? Did we just
Yeah, but Samoa Joe got everything taken away from him already. He's gone.
I mean, did he? Because the ops are still running around. We still got Hook over there.
Well, but that's what he said. He's in charge now because Joe's out for a while. So
maybe, but yeah, it just felt like we went really quick from Hangman is going to destroy the life of Joe to insert MJF, and it's like you're saying the same thing, but just the new name. But
because that's who's filling the gap right now.
Yeah,
that's the time Joe gets healed is when MJF's often make the next movie. So it's all going to work out.
I want your opinion on that promo, but before we get there, we get another promo. It looked like this was impromptu because FTR's music hits, and then we go to commercial for them to then come back. So some timing
was off. Like that was their stuff was supposed to hit in the break, and then we were supposed to come into them live with the crowd already booing them.
Yeah, but something happened. And man, do we care? FTR, Bucks. This just
I don't. I mean, Stokely's fun. Stokely's cool.
Stokely's great. But Stokely could do this with another team.
Yeah.
Like the Young Bucks don't have to be the team.
If he had a family, quote unquote, right? Like that he was leading against on Callis, like both the most detestable people in the business, right? Like competing against each other to out sleaze the other.
Yeah.
With a family of team members who hate each other. Oh.
Yeah. It's just, and again, I don't know what the real schedules are and all of that, and I don't really want to know. So if you know, don't tell me because I'm not going to listen. However, wouldn't it be better if this was Christian and Copeland?
You would think.
Instead of the Young Bucks? Even more so, if it was the Young Bucks and Christian and Copeland, right? Like, just FTR and the Young Bucks again. We were kind of bored with this when we saw them at Dynasty.
Well, and it's just that. It's like they're not going to do anything we haven't seen. Like,
yeah, we've done one as a babyface and one as a heel, and then we vice versa, and then we've done multiple teams.
I haven't felt like, boy, we never settled this. Like,
We did at All In London. They tried to do the handshake, and fucking who cares?
And I mean, like, even if we didn't, like, this match ain't gonna determine who's the. Why are we still doing this? Yeah, I agree. Sometimes you just want a big match and you want the billing and you want to put their faces on the thing. And
then intertwine that history with other things. Like I know they have done it once, but do it again. Have the Hurt Syndicate involved as well, or have
make this a trio.
Copeland and Christian. Have more things to where then you can get the cool standoff right in between the match between the Nick Jackson and Bald FTR. Ooh, we remember that, but then it's not leading into this going, we're playing the hits. Oh, one team thinks they're the best of all time. The other one disagrees.
Yeah.
What is this fucking story written by John Cena? Same shit every fucking year? God.
And his name is John Cena!
And don't forget, if you ever do tend to like feel a little fuzzy and you need to like remember, John Cena sucks.
Yeah.
There's nothing good about John Cena. Again, pause for anyone who's new to the program, to the podcast. Thank you, first off. I'm talking about the character. I know that the man grants more make-a-wishes, and that seems like an amazing person. Whoever that guy is, I don't give a fuck about him. I'm talking about the character John Cena fucking sucks. Fucking sucks. You know what his one story was? I want to be champ. Who gives a fuck?
Yeah.
They all want to be champs.
Best thing I saw him do was that Bray Wyatt match. That was Bray Wyatt's.
Yeah, and that was Bray Wyatt. Yeah. Fucking. If you like John Cena, you suck. Like, there's nothing good about your decision making or qualities of life. Like, you're probably a bad person.
Yeah. Probably.
John Cena sucks. But then, after the Young Bucks kick everyone in the face, we go to a post-match comment from Brody King. And he says, hey, I'm not just going to sit around feeling sorry for myself. I'm getting back after it. I'm going to be in the world title hunt, and I'm looking for a fight. Ooh. And we get the 2026 AEW version of the What Chant with...
Yeah, I love it, man. It was great.
Yeah, and if you're new to the podcast, again, thank you so much for taking time to give us a shot. But if you like ice, leave. We don't want you here. You fucking suck. Okay?
Yeah.
So,
Piss off then!
Yeah. There's your PSA for tonight. Thanks for giving us a shot, but if you side with that side, go straight to hell.
You raggedy bitch.
Exactly. So I guess before we move on past that, what do you want to see here? We got Brody King. He's still kind of riding on a high. He's still in the news outside of the wrestling bubble, but he did lose to MJF. It wasn't necessarily controversial. What do we do?
I saw a great idea online. I don't know who said it, so I don't want to.
Probably me. Okay.
Probably you. Have him beat Ricochet and be the national champion, going around with the fuck ice chants everywhere. Might be better than the world title at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think we may go that route. That's what I would do. Have Ricochet come by and be like, you nerd, you whatever, right? Like, pick a fight and lose that fight in glorious fashion.
Because honestly, if you think about it, hold on, I got to sneeze, I think.
Okay.
There it is. There it is. Yahtzee. But if you think about it, his whole getting over thing is very national, right? Like Brody King, as far as I know, doesn't really have a stance on maybe the conflicts in the Congo. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, he might.
But he does
he didn't publicly state them as much.
But we know one. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Exactly. But we know one of his stances, and it is very national. So, yeah, that is a good idea to make it the national champion.
And now, they're losing their mind, right? Watching him be the national champion champion of this nation.
Yeah, I like that idea.
And just fuck ice chants left and right.
Oh, yes. He should go full NWO and spray paint fuck ice on the national championship.
Just no ice. Yeah, just like across the ice.
That would be dope.
Or you just get the custom belt, right? It has the no ice like plates on the side. Yeah.
Oh, his side plates would be melting ice cubes. Yeah, it'd just be like All right, let's get into
Tom,
some in-ring action here.
Talk about selling some merch.
I know. I'd buy that. I'd buy 10 of them. Yes. All right, let's get into some
handing them out.
Let's get into some in-ring action here for the TBS title. It's a four-way match, not a fatal four-way, because the idea is not to kill the person. It's just to pin them. We get our champion, Willow Nightingale, taking on Mina Shirakawa, taking on the Megasis, Megan Bayne, taking on the problem, because she can't wrestle, Marina Shafir. And did you like this match? I actually kind of did.
Match was good. Yeah, man. This is the women hit hard in AEW, right? Mm-hmm. And it's always a banger almost every time they go out there.
What I liked about this is we finally ripped the Band-Aid off and we said, hey, Megan Bayne and Marina Shafir are going to actually fight each other when they have to, right?
And
it's not like they turned on each other.
Yeah, exactly.
But because I think it was Megan Bayne powerbombed Marina Shafir through a table on the outside.
Yeah.
And then I think it was Willow Nightingale hit like a reverse Hurricane Rana or something, where Megan Bayne almost looked like she pulled a me and landed on top of her head. Like
the AEW women, when they get any chance to do anything, the mildest of like hardcore or street fight or blood guts, it feels like 90s ECW level of enthusiasm. You know what I mean? They're like, I get to use a baseball bat and a chain, and somebody gave me a scalpel. This is going to be amazing. It's fucking awesome.
Yeah. It's either that or you think because I'm a woman, I can't just hit someone with the chair. I'll fucking take a fucking blade to their cunt. Like, bitch, look at this. Like, hey, we didn't
saw Brock Lesnar throw a car door. Watch this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll fucking bring that baby out of her belly. You don't think I'm that hardcore? Yeah. Like, she's not in labor. She will be.
Kurt Angle suplex you through a glass. R.I.P. Shane McMahon.
Shane. R.I.P. You fucking loser.
Shane McMahon's not dead, by the way. Anybody? We're not like that I know of. That I know of. Yeah, I mean, he hasn't been announced or anything. Again, character. You know?
Yeah.
The real guy's probably an asshole too, but the characters.
Yeah, the character. Yeah. The character, last time I saw him, he ripped his quad.
Tried to jump over the Miz. The Miz. The towering Miz. And again, I love when we were talking about that. Like, so even like, let alone that it's the Miz, you're trying to jump over the Miz. Like, who was impressed that you did that? Like, even if you completed that, nobody's going to be like, did you see that when Shane McMahon jumped over the Miz?
But of course his ACL ripped. It was inside the body of a bitch. It was Shane McMahon's ACL. Like, of course that thing's going to rip. Yeah. Belong to that motherfucker. He's a fucking
it was all the damage from doing that dance on the thing. Yeah, you shouldn't have been doing that to your quads all those years.
Yeah. You thought you were fucking exercising your ankles, really, or you were fucking making your quads tighter than
exactly right. You were working those ligaments too much, and you know.
Yeah. God, you are the worst. You are a step below John Cena.
You are the most annoying little shit.
Yeah, you're a step below John Cena. And let's not forget, John Cena sucks. Okay, so back to this match.
Theo P's in the chat, by the way. He says, awesome. What's up, Theo?
Yes, thank you. Well, that's probably towards you because you are the awesome one. I'm just a goof. But what do we got here? Oh, so yeah, Megan Bayne, she falls on top of her head. Willow looks to be fucking taken over, but stop the presses because Mina says it's Mina time, and she beats the brakes off of Willow for a minute, and then I think gets a little bit over anxious with trying to do a figure four, and Willow says, "Gotcha, bitch," and says, "Pin your fucking shoulders," because again, it's not a fatal four-way because you don't have to kill him.
Just a wrestling four-way.
Yeah. And she gets the pin. She retains her championship. I guess before we move on, what do you think is the next step for Willow? Because that seemed like three of the top people going after that championship.
Yeah, I feel like, so if we're not ready to say like her next big feud, right? If we're just going to give her a next defense, I would go with one of the two from the Techless group. What are we calling them there? The Triangle of Madness, right?
Triangle
if we know
of
the next
Madness.
person's going to lose to Willow, right?
Mm-hmm.
You have them be like, and now we're going to get this title too, and it's going to be Julia Hart, and Julia Hart gets fucking pounced out into the middle row, you know?
You know who I would have her go up against is the one that took her out after their tag match. I'm trying to look for her name right now. After they defeated Mega Bad. Who was that girl? Remember the tall girl that's like bigger than Megan Bayne? You know who I'm talking about.
Nope.
Yes, you do. I
heard of her.
can't find her name. She just signed with AEW. Hold on.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, that one lady. Yeah, exactly. That one person. I know what you're talking
Lena
about.
Cross. Lena
Oh,
Cross.
yeah. Mhm.
Yeah.
Right. Yep.
Her. Have Lena Cross go, oh, did you take out the biggest baddest in AEW? No, you didn't, because you didn't fight me. And then you go, oh shit, this one's bigger than Megan Bayne. What are they feeding her?
Super
Twin
mega
babies?
bad. Yeah.
Yeah. They feed her twins. That's how she's so big. I don't know. That's
her
another
toddlers.
dumb thing to- Yeah. Yeah, they're these kids can walk. Oh
Yeah.
shit. Anyhow, that's murder. Next we get
How many times we've said that's murder on this
that's
podcast?
murder, yeah. We get something that could really fucking suck. Now, the segment itself was great, but what could come out of it could really fucking suck.
Okay.
So we get the promo battle, the face-to-face, whatever you want to call
Yeah.
it, of MJF and Hangman Adam Page. Now,
Oh, yeah. Okay.
let's first talk about the bullet points of what was said. Then we can kind of talk about what the fuck is
stipulation.
going to happen. Right, all this.
Parentheses.
So MJF starts it off, and he's like, I fucking hate your guts. Again, paraphrasing, because let's get to the points, right? He goes, I fucking hate your guts. And you know why I hate your fucking guts? Because these people think you're the main character, and you're fucking not.
How dare they? Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't think you're that good. I think you're just a lucky shot. I think, kind of, you aren't that great, and I'm better than you. And Hangman is just sitting in the corner taking it. He doesn't even move a muscle, it looks like. And then he gets on the microphone. And he goes, you motherfucker, I hate you too. I hate you just as much as you hate me, but probably more. And you know why? Because I think you're like me, you fucking bitch.
Yeah.
And I don't like that.
Yeah. That's a good paraphrasing. That's kind of what he said. Yeah.
Yeah, and he goes, because you don't want that title, and I don't want that title. What we want is that we need
Need it.
that title. We don't want the title. We need
Gotta have it.
the title.
Need it.
And so he goes, you're also pretty good, which fucking sucks, but I think you're a bitch. You know why? Because you had a contract, and your little bitch ass waited in the sidelines for greater men to fight, and then you just come in and
His
take
line
the
there, though, he
win.
said, you held it, you laid in wait until you know what I mean, like that match is like, then you came back with a fresh new hairdo thicker than Mark Davis.
Yeah. Yeah. Mark Davis like, what the fuck? My hand's
What
broken.
did I
Let me
do,
catch
man?
this." Yeah.
Real quick before we get there, we got Sarah Bengar in the chat, says completely agrees with Liverpool Chad, who said would love for Lena Cross to win it. But then Liverpool Chad also said, why are they doing the Cody Rhodes thing again? It has people concerned, and we're about to get to that.
Yeah. Well, we're about to get to it right now. So, Hangman says his thing, and he goes, I hate it that we're so much alike, but this thing isn't going to be done. We have to finish it. It has to come to a head. Kind of feels like it should be done, but it's not going to be done unless we change something about what's going to happen at Revolution. So, you prick, I say we add a stipulation to it. I say we do a stipulation. And MJF goes, whoa, shut the fuck up. We're going to do a traditional wrestling match because that's what traditional wrestlers do.
Right.
And then that is what baited Hangman to say, oh, you need something from me? How about this? I'll pull a Cody. If I don't fucking win, I'll never challenge for that championship as long as I live.
Yeah.
That then gets MJF to go, ooh, okay. But then here's where I'm confused. So he says, you got a deal, cowboy. And then he goes, but you're going to have to wait till next week until I say the stipulation. And then that's when Hangman cuts it off and was like, Texas death.
So that's what
I'm confused because isn't the stipulation if he doesn't win,
then
he can't challenge?
2 stipulations. It's Texas death.
Or whatever he picks.
Does he pick it? Or is it?
That's what I'm saying. Like, so
I thought it was one of these. I thought it was hey, I'll pick a stipulation, you pick a stipulation.
Right. And I picked that I'll give up my chance for challenging.
And he was like, I'll pick up Texas Death. And I think he was like, fuck all that. I'm not doing any of that. We're just doing a wrestling match. And he was like, well, then I'll do it. So maybe that's where we're lying, is like, I'll give you the whatever, right? That MJF, your stipulation will be that I can never wrestle again. And mine will be Texas Death. And MJF's like, I'll give you my answer next week. And Hangman was just saying, whatever your answer is, I don't give a fuck, right? It's going to be Texas. I don't know, man. I really don't know. I think they didn't workshop it out very well.
Yeah, because, or someone doesn't know the definition of what a stipulation is.
Yeah.
That could be. They could be like,
I just
stipulation is the
But
match.
it felt like there was supposed to be time for MJF to come up with a stipulation of his own. And I don't think we ever got that. And I don't know if we're supposed to still. I'm left with confusion.
Yeah, because to your point, if it is, my stipulation is I won't challenge for it, then your stipulation, because that doesn't make sense. Then you're not picking, you're shooting yourself in the foot twice.
So,
because you're saying my stipulation is that I won't challenge for it. And then you can also tell me what kind of match I can wrestle in. And you're like, well, now you're just a fucking idiot.
So 95% of me says, well, Hangman has to win this match then, right?
Yeah.
Tony Khan has pulled some whoop moments on us before where we're like, wow, I didn't expect that.
Yeah, but they're generally very consistent with their word, right? They don't do a lot of bait and switch. You know what I mean?
So unless they had something worked up for how to get Cody out of this, and they're like, we'll just apply that to Hangman, right? Like after we need it. But I don't know.
Well, that's the thing. The only way I think we could ever get out of this if Hangman went full heel and shook the hand of the devil, which would be Don Callis. And then Don Callis said, hey, now that you're in the family, I got you your title shot back. You're going to take on Kenny Omega, as you know, because that's one story that we haven't told. Real quick, I was thinking about this after Dynamite was all in because of how we could potentially get out of this if Hangman doesn't win, is we could run back Kenny Omega versus Hangman, but this time Hangman is the heel and Kenny Omega is the baby face, and we get, you motherfucker, how can you go back on your word? Now you're challenging for the title. Well, fuck you guys. I'm Hangman. I can do whatever I want.
So the only thing I was thinking more along the lines of like, okay, so Hangman says I'm never wrestling for the title again. He loses. He's not wrestling for the title. Somebody eventually is the champion, and maybe Hangman's the heel, maybe he's the face or whatever in this next situation, but he's ruining that person's life so much, right? That person has to beg Tony Khan, right? Like,
throw it to the side.
Because he's like, fine, we're fighting, Hangman. And he's like, I'm not fighting you if it ain't for the title. Why would I fight you? You know what I mean? I'll just keep beating you up. You know what I mean? I don't need the sanction rules. This is just fun for me, right? Like,
right.
And they'll be like, fine. And then they go beg Tony, right? Like, please let me put the title. Tony's like, I can't, man. These rules are rules. So now they've got to be like, all right, well, then I'll be the one that can never, you know what I mean? Maybe we just pass that along, right?
Because the only other place you can go with this, and he's too young to do this, would be, all right, I want one last shot. I know I said it wouldn't, but this time, if I lose, it's my career. And then I'm done forever, right? Because that's the only last step.
Yeah.
But then, what is he, 31? Like,
well, the next step is, all right, we'll do this. You give me one more shot at it. If I don't win it, I'll never challenge for any title in AEW at all, ever again. Right? Yeah. I'll just be on Collision, just,
hanging out,
wrestling Lee Moriarty.
well, then it'd be just like, because to your point about the champion says, fine, it's going to be you. You could do a storyline where Hangman says every number one contender I'm kicking the fuck out of.
Right.
So you're not fighting anyone, right?
Yeah, where Tony Khan's like, fuck?
Right,
Stop ruining
yeah.
my show.
Yeah, because like let's just say he beats Hangman, right? And MJF, his next number one contender is Swerve, and Hangman goes, "Nope," because I'm taking him out. And then they go, "Okay, well the number one contender is Kenny Omega." "Nope, I took him out." And then you're less like, "Fuck,
Brody
fine.
King.
Yeah, Brody King. Nope,
Yeah,
you're
take
out.
him
So, well,
somehow. Yeah.
that's one thing I was thinking is like, again, if you want to say Hangman could skirt around this by being a heel, you have him join Don Callis. Don Callis works that in, and he takes out Brody King. That's the quickest way for us to really boo him, right?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Be hanging next to Don Callis and take out Brody King.
Yeah.
Like in
that
2
would
weeks.
be the way to do it. Yeah. That would be the but before we get that far, I
it sounds
do
like cowboy
think
shit to me, but whatever.
yeah, I do think, not to spoil my pick before we get to it,
Hangman
but
wins.
Hangman wins.
Hangman
I think
wins.
they're going to be
MJF's
like,
going to go make a movie or something. Like, we just got him a title reign in to get him what was probably contractually obligated or something. Like,
or it was just fun. Like,
or it was
it
just
was a
fun, right?
good-
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
nothing
like to
was
hot
bad.
potato it around once in a while, bounce around, and
Yeah.
it gets people a couple title reigns. But, like, yeah, I think it just feels like we may think several times in this match that it's coming close. What if there's something? What if somebody comes in and does something to Hangman? And now, you know what I mean? Like, MJF didn't even plan it. He's just like, look at the damn luck. Oh, fucking, fill in the blank came in and gave a Kansas City cunt punt to Hangman.
Well, not to get ahead of ourselves, but just put this glove on and see how it fits. What if that person that cost Hangman the championship for the rest of his career
Is
Swerve.
Swerve. Oh, because he's heel guy now.
Yeah. Huh? He could be mad about like, oh, that motherfucker got the shot? No. Run that shit back?
I mean, who else would have something against Hangman that would want to see him lose this? MJF we know, but MJF's the competitor.
Yeah.
Theo says it can work.
Could work.
It could work.
All right,
Ooh,
so
we got this Jeff Jarrett shirt on the line for these picks coming up in a couple weeks.
I mean, you're going to keep it, so that'd be great.
No, it's going to be your shirt. There's going to be a revolution,
Nope.
and you are going to be the new rightful heir and wearer and bearer of the Jeff Jarrett flag.
No, no one wants that. You know that.
Everyone
no one
wants that. Theo wants to see it.
Theo
wants to
told
see it.
me
Liverpool
privately.
chat wants to see it.
Liverpool chat told me privately as well that they're like, keep that shirt with Tim.
Hey, nobody talks to you privately. Everybody at least records it for legal purposes.
You don't have to break kayfabe, brother. Okay? Goddamn. All right. John Moxley. Hey, he
Why
and
do you
the
think we
Death
do this
Riders-
live stream? I'm not going to be caught having private conversations.
Yeah, I get it. I know. All right, John Moxley and the Death Riders, they challenge the Don Callis family. So we get John Moxley says, no time limit. Takeshita, me and you at Revolution. Cool. Daniel Garcia says, we're going to kick your ass, so we're going to beat you up. And then Don Callis comes back later and goes, hey, Claudio, we want your title, so we're going to challenge you for something on Collision. Okay.
He said we're going to kick your ass, so we're going to beat you up.
Yeah.
This is words.
Yeah. Isn't that what he said? Sounds like
Yeah,
something Garcia would
that's what
say.
he said. I think it was verbatim. Yeah.
That sounds like an Outrunners line.
Yeah, exactly. We're going to kick your ass, so we're going to beat you up. Outrunners.
Yeah, put that
Man,
on the
again,
shirt.
R.I.P. Where are they at, man?
Yeah.
Why aren't they up in this
Oh.
tag team battle?
They're over there with Dalton Castle. So
Yeah, that's
they're
true.
hanging out.
Castle
doing that.
Runners.
Yeah. Give them the trios championships. You know what I mean? That would be cool.
Cock Runners.
Hey, what? The collaboration. Here we go. Now we get that match. It's Orange Cassidy and the found this out New Japan Pro Wrestling Strong Openweight Champion, the Stone
Nailed it.
Pitbull, to Big Tom Ishii. And he
Ishii,
takes on
Tomohiro Ishii, yes.
Tomohiro, and he takes
Yeah.
on Matthew McConaughey and old fat Conor McGregor. And these guys, they said, we're still here. And that fucking sucks.
They are
you
there.
could be.
Couldn't
You
get the
could be
Outrunners,
seeing-
but we could get.
Yeah, you could see the Outrunners, but we'd rather see these two fucking guys, would we?
Would
These
we?
two?
I don't
Yeah.
know. Would we? You know,
Gabe
the
Kidd-
Clark Connors, I think I might have said this about somebody else already, but he's given me the disciple NWO vibes when they introduced Brutus Beefcake as the disciple, right?
Yeah.
That's the kind of look he's got going on right now.
He looks like he smells like the Sex Panther from Anchorman. Remember with the
Yeah.
it works 70% of the time, every single time?
You know, I was watching that Vice thing about the Brutus Beefcake, and I never knew the story about like where his face was freaking demolished and all those things. And I remember thinking when he came back like to the NWO and he was the disciple, I was like, why does he look so different? And now like looking back, I was like, oh, that's why. It's like okay, that's
face
why.
fucking almost melted off of his skin and everything. Yeah.
Yeah.
But Clark Connors, don't need him. And Gabe Kidd looks like an extra in American History X, right? It looks like him and Ed Norton were like, let's fucking find some minorities.
Yeah, they certainly aren't a draw to me. But look, I mean, you know, some folks watch New Japan a little more religiously, so I'm sure you acquired tastes. You know what I mean? Like, yeah.
Why?
Some people drink a lot of wine too. I don't know.
Oh, you fucking milk drinkers. What the hell are you doing? I love still doing that, calling people milk drinkers as an insult.
Yeah.
You fucking milk drinkers?
Milk
Like,
drinkers.
what? Isn't that something out there in the news? You watch the news. Isn't that something?
Oh, yeah. Well, so these fuckholes tried to do this big thing about going to raw milk, you know, and they wanted to go to raw milk. And I think enough people, even inside their own clan, was like, bro, you're going to get a bunch of people killed. You can't do that. So now they like worked up all these ads about like whole milk. Like, everybody should do whole milk, as if people weren't drinking whole milk. Like, there's fucking hundreds of gallons of that shit at the grocery store that I see every week. Like, I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, while you said that, it's one of the weirdest things in society that milk just had an ad campaign. Remember that? The Got Milk?
Yeah, just milk.
What?
Because they needed dairy farming to be,
But it wasn't a company. It wasn't like
No.
I think Farmer Joe's fucking milk.
More and more people are surprised every day that as an American citizen, you are one of the most propagandized people on the entire planet. We were told our whole lives like, oh, we're free, and all these other countries they give propaganda to their people like they wish they could propaganda us or propagandize like the Americans do. We have been the worst. Yeah.
Stone Cold Steve Austin did the milk campaign.
Do you know why? Corn syrup and ethanol gas and everything. It's like they needed the corn farmers something to do, so they've had to subsidize all this shit, and now they have to do something with all this corn. Like they don't. It's because it's profit based and not needs based and resource based. But I'll save you the political conversations, Tom.
Well,
anyway.
Speaking of corn eaters, Clark Connors and Gabe Kidd, they lose here.
Yes.
At the end of the match, Darby Allin takes out Gabe Kidd. It looks like, and I hope it's just maybe something that happened in the match and he's fine today, but it looks like Ishii either dislocated his hip, pulled a hamstring, buckled his knee, something, and he might be out for a while.
There is something, right? I hate I know people online that still do the fuck AEW, will say well, that's where you go get injured. They don't know how to work there. But there has been a rash of injuries, to a lot of folks.
Yes. However, I will only say this about Ishii. I love Ishii. One of my favorite matches I've ever seen in my life was in person, All Out 2022 on the pre-show, Eddie Kingston versus Ishii.
Yeah.
That match fucking rules. Fuck
there.
gas station. Yeah, fuck gas station. What's his fuck? For ruining that night.
What did you call him?
Yeah,
Gas
what's
Station
the guy?
John Hamm.
Yeah, gas station John Hamm. That's what I call him. Yeah. Fuck gas station John Hamm for ruining that night. But that match
Fun
fucking
because
rules.
you said it and I knew who you were talking about without you having to say CM Punk, right? I was like,
old John Hamm. Which, by the way, watch that new show. Well, I guess it's in its second season, but Your Friends and Neighbors on Apple TV, very good. Anyhow, gas station John Hamm ruined that fucking night. Long way of saying, I love Ishii, but that brother could use some squats in his life. He is very top heavy.
He is. I I mean, it's Pitbull. He's got skinny legs and a big old
very skinny legs. Maybe let's do some deficit squats, some pause, safety bar squats.
If you just go to some stairs and do some, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Some
leg lifts. Yeah. Do some calf raises.
Yeah. The calves. Ladies love the calves. Am I wrong, ladies? We got any ladies? What?
Do we got any ladies?
Katie. Katie, the first lady. Why am I blanking on the name all of a sudden? Misfit Mess, right? Come on.
R.I.P.
I didn't want to sell out her real name if she didn't want it out there.
Yeah. Yeah, but you'll be remembered. So
our friends.
Yeah, we do need friends. Who doesn't want to be friends with us? Anyhow, Orange Cassidy picks up the victory. Yay. That happened. As I mentioned, Don Callis, they responded Death Riders. That happened. Now, the part I was going to bring up, though, is towards the end.
Don Callis response, though, where they were like,
that's what I'm saying.
That. Like, more of that where they're just beating people up in the back. They're like, yeah, by the way.
Right. But, yeah, I love that. Because, that seems to be led by Josh Alexander, which Ash brought up in his call. Mm-hmm. But the interesting part here was they go to Okada, and Okada's like, hey, let me introduce my friend, Andrade.
Yeah.
And Andrade does this whole, I'm the uncrowned champion. I still got my eyes on the AEW world title. Neat. But Okada introduced him. And Okada seemed like, hey, obviously he doesn't like Takeshita, but is he also souring on Fletcher?
But,
because Fletcher wasn't there, was he?
We were going through Ash's list, and we might so Andrade is not going to have the men's world title come out of this. We know that, right? Like, at least not anytime soon. But he could get the CMLL world title. Mm-hmm. Okada's got the international title. Fletcher's got the TNT title. Takeshita could win the Continental Championship. Mm-hmm. Then we're just missing that national title and the tag team titles and the trios titles.
Yeah, that could happen.
Far off here from this. I did notice that where he was like, hey, but I viewed it more as like, Andrade just walked up, and so Okada was like, what's up? And they're cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I was thinking, are we going to do Fletcher Takeshita versus Okada
versus
Andrade?
Andrada?
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe. Could get there, but I don't know. Don Callis family's big. A lot of folks.
I will say, we've talked about this previously, and so, again, if you're new, thank you, but we've never been the biggest Andrade fans, but if Andrade keeps doing this, like, women love me and I kick the shit out of your favorite wrestler kind of thing,
but I
hate that.
Yeah, but I also, like, can we work a little, like, it's clear they're going to the closest strip club and just picking up, you know what I mean? Like, these ladies don't really know what's going on. They don't know, like, it's wrestling, and it's just like, you know what I mean?
Hey,
like, we can't get any.
Did the Godfather hoes know what they were doing when they were walking out either?
They were hoes. Like, they were sold as hoes.
Yeah.
We didn't have to break the fourth wall on that. They went and got actual hoes.
They could have got local. Yeah, you could get like a
more
Marty
actresses
Bell.
and less. You know what I mean? Again, we're not shaming sex workers. Like,
no.
You know what I mean?
But I'm just saying, like, Marty Bell, who's an attractive young lady. Mm-hmm. She knows wrestling. She would know what to do if she's put in that spot to take a picture with Andrade.
Right.
Yeah. Marty
That's true. You couldn't just get local, you know what I mean, stand-in women wrestlers to act like they're just hot for Andrade in the crowd.
And even that's the other thing too, is because now I think, we know every single wrestler, it feels like, that's ever stepped in a ring, no matter where they're at.
Yeah.
Fargo, North Dakota to fucking.
Yeah. Well, especially with the internet, somebody's going to tell you
Brazil.
who it
That's
is.
what I'm saying.
So,
like, look, but fine, cool. Like, I wouldn't hate it if I found, because then that person can take the gimmick to their local promotion. Be like, I do love Andrade.
Oh, so you were like all over Andrade and be like, do you see his abs? Do you got abs, loser? Like,
right. And then there you go. Then your local promotion can run something off of it. So I still think that'd be a good idea.
Yep.
But yeah, we'll see. Okay, we keep it going. Hook says he's in charge and he's recruiting.
So I didn't, again, like you said, these promos work way better for Hook when they are not live with the lights on, right? Like, he's got, this worked great. Like, his delivery His cadence was good. It looked like he mean business. This was way better. But, okay, so this was an explainer. Joe's out for a bit, seemingly long enough that we're going to run with this for a bit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And we explain away, why am I drawing again? The wrestler.
Shibata.
The wrestler.
He's in Japan internationally recruiting.
Right, exactly. So if for whatever reason he has to be gone, now we've explained that. But wasn't that it? I was like, so we gotta get more people in the ops now.
I would have alluded to, look, I know that public statements where we wish Powerhouse Ops the best and all of that stuff, I would have thrown them under the bus a list. Yeah. Hey, the weak get left out. And so we're looking to revamp.
Yeah, we don't need any crumbling so-called powerhouses, right? Did you see that it came out that dude's actually 40 plus years old, and that might be one of the reasons why he was.
Yeah. He's not young.
I thought he was low 30s at worst. I didn't realize he was
I don't know. He looks good. I think he's he's got that Bobby Lashley.
Makes more sense though if you're like, hey, I got 5 more years, and you know what I mean, take this money and run.
Right? Yeah, sell your soul and go join MAGA. Why not? Fucking great idea, bud. You're
capitalism,
just not gonna have to live. You're not gonna have to live with that the rest of your life. Make that short amount of money for as much as you can.
Let me tell you what Vince liked to do with you fellas and his ladies.
Yeah. And fucking Triple H books.
He's gonna have a nice little toy made of you.
Right. Yeah. Well, and Triple H seems to be booking minority talent just as well as Vince. So
what was that one stat where there was a stat where a black man hadn't won a singles pay-per-view wrestling match in some
I think that's
years.
why MVP left. Yeah, I think that's why MVP and Bobby were like, we're the fuck out of here then.
Yeah.
Way to go, bud. Way to explain to your probably future grandchildren that you sold your soul out to fucking MAGA mania so that you could have a second basement or some bullshit. Way to go.
Fuck Donald Trump.
Whoops.
Yeah. But I need the money. Do you fucking need money? Do we all need fucking money?
We forgot to go back in time. We'll have to do that later before we head out. I forgot about that.
All right. Well, good. Yeah. We'll go back in. Well,
Tom about got us canceled.
Well, you about got us canceled because we're talking about minorities, and all of a sudden you want to go back in time.
No, well, yeah, they would love if we went back in time.
Fuck Donald Trump.
All right. Anyhow, Hook's recruiting. Then the Brawling Birds. They debut, and guess what? They're British. Did you not catch it from their gear?
And the birds.
They're British. Yeah.
British. Yeah.
Now, I will say this. I do like them as two individual talents. I don't know how I feel about we wear English stuff and we're called the Brawling Birds. But did you see on AEW social media the Inspiration, formerly known as the Iconics, have signed with AEW? How do you feel about that move? And the Brawling Birds.
So I loved the Iconics when we knew them, right? And then they left, and I know they went to TNA, and they were the Inspiration. They've been traveling around and doing other things. I've watched none of it. I got to assume they're better at it than they were then, and they were really good at it then. So I'm not going to be tired of it if they're running back the same shtick for a while, and it's even new and improved. So I can only think that's going to be good for the women's tag team division AEW, right? They're really good. This other group, more to be seen. I don't know too much about it. Enough.
The thing that made me the most excited, because the thing that I loved about the Iconics is, I believe now she goes by Jessica McKay, the one that's not married to Sean Spears.
Right. Yeah.
That lady.
Yeah.
Her comedic timing was off the charts.
Yeah, they're both funny, and again, they lifelong friendship, and so that charisma that's built up. But
Jessica McKay has such great timing, and all I can think about is if she wants to get a little bit risque, the promos her and Tony Storm can do will just be insane.
And even think, one of the reasons we first started falling in love with Harley Cameron too was some of that comedic timing, right? We get her in some of that. Yeah.
Yeah. I know we love Toni Storm as a babyface, and she is the best pro wrestler in the world. If you
Yeah,
disagree, you're the wrong one.
You got so much more depth with heel characters.
And if you put her with the inspiration, timeless inspiration, like that is right there. You know what I mean? You have those two get into the characters of, actresses in the 20s and 30s.
Zaniness is the best way to describe what would ensue.
Yeah.
Wow.
Which, by the way, AEW did a house show. They teased the greatest dream match in AEW history with a tag match where Toni Storm and Jon Moxley got to lock horns and do some fun action in there. That was fun. Yeah. But anyhow, so the inspiration are on their way. We got to see the Brawling Birds with Jamie Hayter and Alex Windsor. They beat up these two young ladies. What do they say? Okay, so hold on. They hit their version of the heart attack, which they call 2 birds with 1 stone. Nope. Not it.
Yep. Nope.
Not it.
Nope.
Just be like Jamie Hayter is known for being physical. Alex Windsor has shown that she can be physical. Be that. Be APA. Again, I'm not saying be APA, but I'm saying like
APA today.
Yeah, but like, hey, because here's one thing that I think needs to be explored. Because I think women also drink beer. Fucking have them be like, we hang out at pubs, we'll beat up your husband or you, and that's the fucking shit we do.
Yeah, just have them flip the script. Like they could be catcalling and trying to hit on these dudes who are like, Jesus Christ, I'm just trying to go to the fucking bathroom, And they'll be like,
oh, you didn't
I got a mouth on you. You're like,
yeah, or just like, oh, you don't think I'm attractive? And then just
exactly. Yeah, just fucking just 3D them through a fucking part.
I look good in these pants, and then they just walk off. Do that. Like,
the other one would be like, you totally look hot in those pants. I don't know what he's talking about.
Don't dial it to 11. But take some elements from ODB.
Yeah.
Remember ODB and TNA?
100%.
Take some elements of that.
If we ODB these girls up a little bit.
Yeah, instead of this, we're from Britain. Who the fuck cares?
Yeah, nobody gives a fuck. Like,
God
damn it, we've discussed this a lot.
For years. No one gives a shit.
We care. It matters. It's important. I understand, but I don't give a fuck. Like, can we not? It is not your identity, and I don't give a shit.
Yeah. You as an individual matter, and representation is great to achieve goals because it's good to achieve goals when you can see that people who look like you can also do the things that you're wanting to do.
Right.
Pause. No one gives a fuck about where you're from. Don't fucking tell me. God.
It's certainly not the thing you lead with, like when you wear a gimmick that says it, right?
Yeah.
Like that's something we discuss in conversation and it like comes out, right? We don't,
I mean, take for example, probably the most successful female wrestler of the last decade, Becky Lynch. When she debuted, she did the "I'm from Ireland, look at me do the jig," and that fucking sucked.
Yeah.
And then she got over by just being a badass. Do that.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like Harry Truman said, look, this is another fun thing that you never get. You're going to say
multiple Truman references this week.
Yeah. Harry Truman said, "There's nothing new except for the history you haven't discovered." That's what I'm trying to say. Just fucking look at history and pull from that. You don't have to do this like, but what if we wore unicorns on our head and said that we're 2 birds and 4 stones or some no, just fucking take from the successful things and put it as yourself. Anyhow.
Again, I know. All right. So pulling back the curtain a little, which we don't often do, but this is just an exercise in hypotheticals. We're a tag team, Tom. We've been told you 2 guys are going to be a tag team, right? 2 wrestlers are going to be a tag team. We think you'll work well together. You guys are clearly friends, and so you'll be a tag team. And we got to come up with the name and the gimmick and the theme and all that. And they work really hard on the name and the gimmick and the theme. But because I get it, if a finisher has a cool name, then people will like it more and they want to see it. But nobody is going to be like, the 2 birds with 1 stone.
We're not going to do this in the crowd.
it's just not gonna happen. You know what I mean? Like if I can say that in some way, like at some point you have to like when you do that, you have to like, all right, now let's step back and let's pretend I never heard any of this before.
Right.
And I'm just sitting in the crowd and I'm drinking a little.
Yeah.
My buddies are there.
Yeah.
It's not gonna go over.
Nope, it isn't. Speaking
Kind
of
of like
something
how they'll tell
that-
musicians to take your song and then get in the car with some friends and drive around and listen to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like get out of that studio, right? Like stop listening to the track and put yourself in a different environment and think about what you just said. Like what you just did. Is it still good? Does it still sound right? Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great point. Speaking of another thing that's peaked and probably won't get back to the heights it previously had, Thunder Rosa showed back up, and she's with Chris Statlander, right? That girl.
Another
R.I.P.
injury situation here that we've
Yeah,
got?
she did. And she is tough as shit. I've always liked her matches. Even that, the second time I'll mention Mariah May, but that Tijuana street fight that she had with Mariah May fucking ruled. Obviously, her rivalry with Britt Baker fucking ruled. But you can't just be coming back and going like, hey, yep. Like, you're not Stone Cold. You're not Kenny Omega.
To me,
Like,
it
you
was
can't
just one of these. Well, to me, it was one of these like. This feels like, and I'm going to make up another hypothetical. We had X wrestler booked in a match. She couldn't make it due to travel issues. Thunder Rosa was backstage because she lives in the nearby area and was visiting, and they were like, "You got your gear?" And they're like, "I always bring my gear, right?" Like, because they always bring their gear.
Yeah.
And they're like, "Hey, we'll roll out there. Get out there."
Yeah.
It's kind of what it was.
Well, that's kind of what they said, because essentially what Renee Paquette gave us the information about is Statlander is not cleared to wrestle for a while.
Yep.
Thunder Rosa just got cleared to wrestle. So now Thunder Rosa is going after
Easy in
Tekla.
the spreadsheet to just
Yeah. Copy, paste. Now, I do want to ask you about this. At the very end, Statlander does look at Thunder Rosa and is like, hey, by the way, Tekla's kind of fucking wild.
yeah, watch out.
So, like,
yeah.
watch out.
And here, let's also pause for a second here too. I'm given the impression from what I see online that both in front and behind the curtain, that's the case, right? Like Tekla's a little wild, right? Like might not be the one you approach for an autograph if you see her walking around, right? Like,
oh, you want an autograph?
you
What
might get
if
stabbed real quick.
or because this is the vibe she gives me, is if like you walked up to her and like, hey, can I get an autograph? And she's like, well, I don't have a pen. Would you want a piece of my tongue? And you're like, no. I'm like,
But I'll sign it in my blood, and she just like
hands you a piece of tongue. You're like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah.
Enjoy.
Yeah.
Be toxic. I'm like, what the fuck is happening? Where's my mother?
licks your face for some reason.
Yeah.
Like, what?
Yeah. God damn it. What are you doing later?
It's
No,
one
anyhow.
of the cameo for yeah. You guys go to the bar?
Yeah, I'm doing after this. Anyhow, God damn it, Tim. Next up, it just breaks my heart every fucking time because I get excited and I post on our Blue Sky that it's time to roar. And what do we fucking do? We get them beat. This time around, the Jet, Kevin Knight, who fucking rules.
He's cool. Yeah.
Don't dislike Kevin Knight at all, but just beats up the Beast Mortos.
Beast. I was telling my boss about the Beast to watch the Beast.
And here's what makes it worse. Kevin Knight was like, hey, Beast Mortos, if you win, then the three of us as the Trios champs will give LFI a shot.
So they just lost that for the
And they
LFI.
just fucking lost it.
Maybe they should make that a thing. Bill, you suck.
I
Weak
know, but
Mortos.
he doesn't suck. You know
You're
what
the
I mean?
least more toast.
Yeah. Yeah. How are you going to beat up like the most attractive thing to come out of like Dungeons and Dragons? Like, you know what I mean? That's every nerd's wet dream is Beast
I
Mortos.
feel like Beast Mortos makes you feel like Abaddon did, where you're kind of like, am I enjoying this more than I think I should? Oh, you're looking for it now, aren't you? You're like, I don't know why I shouldn't be.
Look at this
enjoying
fucking guy.
Yeah.
Look at that. That's not fucking cool. You didn't fucking act like you had this helmet on and ran around a fire when you were a child.
I mean, geez, you know.
God, he's so fucking cool.
You know what else my boss and I were talking? We were just talking about random wrestling things. I was talking about that. We got into somehow talking about Elias and Kevin Owens, and that reminded me of the Seattle.
Oh my
so
god!
I shared that clip when he was like, it just doesn't make any sense. Like Seattle having a basketball team, and then they all started booing, and he had to wait like a solid minute before he's like, I mean Oklahoma City. That I get. Just
that was
so great.
That was the most genuine. Like you really touched a nerve of like thousands
And it had
of
been
people.
like 8 years.
I know. Yeah. Yeah.
I told him, I was like, it's the most guttural boo instantly you've ever heard. Like, it didn't take them any time to register. They were like, fuck you.
Just, yeah. Wanted to kill him. That's one of the most impressive reactions of anything across any kind of media is that reaction. That
2018 that was, man.
Yeah.
8 years ago.
Oh, man, you are old.
Yeah,
Speaking of old, nah, that doesn't make sense. But the Demand, they kind of look old. They're
good, though.
Yeah.
This guy's got promo chops, you know?
Great. Especially the big guy who
Yeah.
doesn't look like he would, no offense, but like he looks like
Right.
a rawr, you know what I mean? But he can actually speak.
Yeah.
Maybe he needs to get rid of a little bit of that rawr because it's like,
Yeah, maybe.
you're kind of cool. So,
Yeah.
you know, like you're okay. But here's the old part about this promo. We're still bringing up Jungle Jack Perry and the
his
fucking
is
knife
stuck
at
in
the end.
And again, why is he got a Skinner knife? Like, I guess if you're in the jungle, you need a knife, but.
No. But they did say that they are going to be the ones that challenge Jet Set Rodeo for the Trios Champions. Now, give that to the Demand, right? They do
Yes.
this. There's
Right.
3 fingers. Give them each a title.
Give him 3 fingers. Hey, yo.
Yeah. Yeah, you know what I mean? And so, yeah, I don't know, but we get something there. Now, let's get to the main event. A dream match. Apparently,
Dream match.
I'm going to take them for their word. The
We've talked
first
about this,
time
though.
ever.
We've said many times, all the time when you're like, Kenny Omega, stop playing the hits, stop playing with your friends. Swerve was almost unilaterally the first name you would bring up. Like, wrestle Swerve, for fuck's sake.
And this fucking delivered. And
Prove
this
why you said that.
And this almost is one of the things that will piss you off if you start to think about it. You're like, how many fucking Don Callis segments did we get out of Kenny Omega when we could have got more of this kind of shit?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Could have been having
Also-
this match with everybody.
And also, this is another thing that, not to pat myself on the back, but proves what I think is a good point, where this is a pay-per-view level match, but they did it on Dynamite. You could do 30 minutes less of your pay-per-view and put that match, whatever you want that match to be, on Dynamite. Like, this could be every fucking week instead of 4.5 hours of a pay-per-view.
Right.
Like,
Well,
more
we know
of that.
We know that Tony is watching. He's taking your advice.
well then, Tony, you dumb motherfucker, have this guy win next time. No, have this guy win some fucking
To
matches.
endear yourself is call him a dumb motherfucker.
Yeah, you dumb shit. Look at this.
I'm gonna beat your ass and I'm gonna steal your weed.
You don't think that this fucking guy is cool? Look
Piece
at
is
him.
hire Thomas, AEW.
I mean, really, at this point, anyone. If anyone's hiring, just hit him up.
Her DoorDash is hiring.
Well, you know. Actually, a friend of mine works for Oracle, and he's like, "Hey, man," I go, "Just stop. I'm not gonna work for any
nope.
Ellison." So I'd rather sell my blood for money or whatever than fucking go
Yeah.
there. But anyhow, that's beside the point. Strickland, Omega, these two motherfuckers go at it. Go at
this
it.
match
Go at
was
it.
great.
Now, here's where I want to get to, because again, we're not going to cover all the moves, but there is a point in the match where Kenny Omega goes for the V trigger. Swerve grabs, was it Aubrey? Aubrey throws her in front. Kenny takes Aubrey out. Now, why? Because it didn't feel like he was Or unless
Yeah.
did he think he was going to get beat there? Like, what do you make of that moment?
Yeah, I think just that. Like, I think that was like kind of the hint of like, what, right? Like, it was kind of that's, you know what I mean? That's unlikely, right? Like, kind of this, like, what's up with that, right? I think it was kind of that little foreshadowing to what we were about to witness.
Well, and the thing that I thought was interesting about that is then we get the Swerve almost cost himself that match with that moment because then he pins Kenny Omega and we get a count to 10 or whatever it was, but no ref.
Right.
Then we get the, finishers and all of that stuff. Kenny kicks out of the final finisher, but then Swerve ends up hitting the big time finisher, the old big banana, and gets the victory. That's what he calls it, right? The big
That
banana.
is, yeah, the big banana.
Yeah. I think it's big pressure. But he gets the victory. And then again, something I found interesting. Finn is just like, hey, I won. That was great. I needed that. Nah, you know what I really need? To kick the fuck out of
To
him.
murder Kenny Omega.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it didn't, if you win, why are you still angry?
Yeah.
You didn't lose.
You know what? I would have done in that situation instead is like, it's not even. There had to be something, right, to trigger him. Like, why? Yeah, you won. So maybe just like maybe Kenny Omega's like, all right, congratulations, go to shake the hand, and Swerve's like, fuck you, and just
Yes,
beats his ass
added
more.
that. That's what I would have done. I would have had something to. This is what I would have done. Again, if I had the pin.
Oh, real quick, that's the promo Swerve cuts later. Is like, and then he had the nerve to stand up and act like he could be my equal and shake my hand. No, I just beat you. You roll out of the ring and show me the proper respect, right? You get out of my ring, that kind of shit. Yeah.
Well, this is, again, if I had the pin, this is what I would have added to that. Because they also went 19 minutes over, too. So it wasn't like they were watching the clock, right? This is how I would have done it, is Swerve beats Kenny. As he started the show off, he said he needed this, right? I need this. Okay. So then Swerve goes to shake his hand, and Kenny shakes his hand, but then points to you grabbed the ref. You did that there. And then that's what sets Swerve off. Oh, you think I did that because you didn't think I could beat you? I did fucking
you could
beat
be like, what was that about? And then,
and
like,
then
I'll show you what that was about.
Boom,
Fucking
boom. Right.
kidney
And
punch,
then he
nipple
beats
twist.
him up. Yeah, because if he just beats him up after he wins, now you just look like a sore winner. Like, you fucking win. Or you won, But
I think, he'll just explain that away and be like, it just wasn't enough. Like, I saw him laying there, and he didn't look hurt enough. He didn't look destroyed enough. He didn't look beat down enough.
Also, and again, this last point I will say is just nitpicky, but I would have wanted a little bit more. Hey, Prince Nana, what are you doing? Like, egg him on then. Yeah, throw him through a table.
Beat his ass.
Fuck this guy. Yeah,
kick him in the nuts. Yeah.
Because
steal his weed. Right.
Right. Like, because it's just like, at what point are you just a liability? Because now Swerve has to like jump in to defend you, and what are you doing?
What are you providing?
At least be his friend here. Yep. Yeah. What are you providing him? But at the very end, we get the, what is it? A vertebreaker or whatever. The fucking, that movie hurts.
Yeah. Through the table.
Throws him through the table. Yeah. And then he does say again, I needed this. Also, to his credit, Bryan Danielson was like, hey, stop. You don't need to do this. And he's like, I did need to do this.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Love it. Swerve.
I would have made it one bit more creepy where Swerve heard that and gets into Bryan Danielson's like microphone and grabs it and goes, I did need this.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like fuck.
Yeah, you don't know what I need.
But yeah, he reminded everyone, in case you forgot, he's the most dangerous man in pro wrestling. And that's how we end our night. So what'd you think of the episode? What'd you think of the match? What's your final thoughts here?
All of it. I like the, what we call a heel turn, right? Swerve getting angry. I think we'll obviously have more to come, right? I think what you thought they did of like, leave this off the pay-per-view. Nope. I think we're getting a rematch on the pay-per-view. I think we're going to see it again.
You think?
Yeah, I think so.
But how? It can't be Texas Death because we're going to do Texas Death with
just
MJF and...
You know what I mean? Just match. Just go match. You know what I mean? Give me a rematch. You had to use Aubrey, you fucking cheater. Swerve when you drive.
I'm trying to think of what we could do. because we could potentially do a Swerve move past Kenny because he beat him. He's old news. Hey, I want my loss back. I want to face Andrade at the pay-per-view. And then do Andrade loves the women. Andrade gets kind of distracted by loving the women. Heel Swerve Strickland goes even more heel. Cost Andrade, beats Andrade to get that win back, but by doing it as a heel this time, and now is like, I've found the light. This is how I needed to be this entire time. And then, again, depending on what Hangman and MJF happens, then you could flirt back with the Hangman saying, I thought you had changed. And, you could have Swerve say, bitch, you were the one that changed me, and I became a pussy.
Yeah.
And I hated that. And
I like it.
What? That would be a cool wrinkle if you just do a backstage segment where Hangman's like, what the fuck happened to you? And he's like, you made me soft. Yeah, you made me soft. I became like you weak bitch.
I ain't the one here trying to have anxiety and fucking care what people
or
think
cater
about
to
me.
these fans.
Yeah, exactly.
or try to get their approval.
Right.
I did that because I thought I had to,
I don't
because
need
that's
to be
what you
nobody's
were
main
doing.
character. I'm the fucking star of the show. I know what I am.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I like it. I do
too.
More to follow. We're coming up on some great stuff with the Revolution coming up. I think we're gonna get some cool twists and turns there too. I'm liking it. I'm liking it so far.
Yes, it's gonna be fun. Got more ahead as the cookie crumbles, as they say, or whatever the fuck they say. We're having fun. We are having fun in AEW. If you like pro wrestling, hang out with AEW. You don't need anything else in your life because it checks all the boxes. That's
all
what
right,
I
Tom.
would say.
Well, I mentioned this earlier. We forgot to do this earlier, but we might as well before we get out. Let's take a little trip.
Back in time. Mm-hmm.
Let's see. All right, we're going to go back 3 years. February 22nd, 2023, Dynamite was live from Phoenix, Arizona. At this time, Jon Moxley and Hangman Adam Page were locked in one of the most violent feuds of the year, heading towards a Texas death match at Revolution. Moxley had been calling out Hangman, claiming he didn't have any real friends who would stand up for him. To prove Moxley wrong, a member of the Dark Order stepped up to face the former world champion in the main event. It was a mismatch on paper, but this Dark Order member fought with everything he had, though ultimately getting busted open, resulting in one of the most iconic visuals in AEW history of a crimson mask, where blood was literally pouring out of the eye holes of his actual mask. Who was this
Evil
mask?
Uno.
Dark Order.
Evil
Uno,
Uno.
Gave you an easy one, this one, but it's such a great moment that we had to cover it.
Yeah, Evil Uno can do that too. He can, if you were like, hey, we need again, he's a great person to add moments to your wrestling promotion. He's not going to give you the week to week but he can give you a great promo and he can make you care.
The best Evil Uno moment is the one where the person did and missed the Hurricane Rana flip on the side, and he just
and he just
ran into the ring post and just took off running into it.
Hey, why not?
Take two. Yeah, I love it. I love those little trips.
Back in time.
They're fun. They're fun. But anyway, what else is fun is taking a break sometimes, right? You get a break from us. You've heard enough, but you can get back with us next week by all the links I mentioned earlier at allelitewrapup.com. The Blue Sky. Email us, aewrapup@gmail.com. And until then,
I will see you next week, dumbass.
Time.